All right, let's call to order the Prairie Hill Community Consolidated School District number 133 regular board meeting. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. It's 5:32 p.m. Longbacken? Here. Fleischer?
Here.
Anderson? Mr. Shuckman?
Here.
Finnegan? Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mr. Lewis?
Here.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Visitor. Just note taken today.
I'm actually going to speak.
Oh,
That's okay.
yes, of
Just
course.
very briefly. I'm going to look at my phone, which is rude, but
No.
I'm not speaking. So I'm Dan Bressler, for those of you who don't know me. I'm the social worker at Prairie Hill and also the secretary of the Teachers Union. And I was asked to speak today on behalf of the union's executive board to express our appreciation for board members' recent visits to our schools. We recognize that there can be a natural disconnect between school boards and the day-to-day experiences of teachers and students. And we appreciate any efforts to bridge that gap because we believe our district will have the best outcomes possible when we maximize shared understanding between teachers, administrators, board members, and families. To that end, we would like to express our willingness to collaborate with building administration and the school board to facilitate future school visits or other activities the board may pursue to understand teachers' perspectives and experiences. For example, there may be value in shadowing individual staff members for full class periods or even several hours to get more than a short snapshot of their day-to-day experiences. We know that some teachers may be more comfortable with that than others, and that you all would want to avoid inadvertently intimidating teachers or imposing on student learning. And so if you were interested in pursuing that sort of more extended observation, we would be more than happy to facilitate communication with union members in advance to help them understand the goals of the visits and request volunteers who would be comfortable hosting board members in their classrooms at specific dates and times. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the union executive board through our email address, which I can share with everybody who doesn't have it after the meeting. And we welcome opportunities to collaborate with you and appreciate the work that you do for our district and students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Start with looking for an approval for January regular meeting minutes, January committee meeting minutes, February bills totaling $145,133.37, February payroll totaling $248,711.52, and the student activity funds.
So moved.
Seconded.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And Sure.
Thank you. We are in the middle of conference night. Can't believe second trimester conference nights were between the two. Trimester 2 ends tomorrow, so we're already 2/3 of the way done with the school year. It's crazy. Big shout out to PSA and the Teachers Union for providing the conference meals for those 2 nights. Excuse me, Jackie and I are in the middle of making sure our families do the 5 essential survey for our schools. If you have students at either Prairie Hill and or Willowbrook, we do ask that you do them for both schools. Right now I'm only at 15%. I don't know if how you're doing. We need to get to 20. We need to get to 20. I need 40 more parents to thank you. Thank you last week. I appreciate that. The pre-K lottery was a couple of weeks ago. It went well. Everybody that signed up to reserve a spot received a spot. We do have about 5 openings left. They're all PM slots, but the lottery went well. Usually it was done on a Saturday morning, but we did it on a Friday after school and it seemed to go just fine. Applications for our 2 open positions have been coming in for our kindergarten opening as well as our resource opening. Have a really good pool of candidates for both positions. The interview teams have started to meet. We're going to finalize our process next week, and then we're going to start interviewing. right now. I think we have about 10 interviews scheduled already. So we should
Oh,
have a,
Jackie beat me too.
yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, that's not me.
The interview process will not be done. This is, I mean, it's,
Sorry, it's distracting.
it is, it's just,
We're all paying attention to you.
we won't be ready to make a recommendation for probably either hire at the March one, but we'll have one. We'll probably have a decision in early April. Hopefully by the April board meeting, we'll have a recommendation for the fall. IAR, it's coming. I think we're in the same page. We're going to start after spring break. Our 3rd and 4th grade students and teachers are working hard to prepare. Based on the iReady winter scores, I'm looking forward to how this year is going to go. I think our kids are gonna do awesome. Kids Heart Challenge. Thank you to all the parents we had that day on Thursday last week. I think we had well over 50% of the school represented with an adult. When I talked to Mrs. Sockness last week, she just texted me now. I'd see if she gives me the number. As of last week, we had over 19,000 raised.
Awesome.
So she was going to give me an updated number, which she's giving me right now, but 20,000, that's about where we're at. That's pretty awesome. Unbeknownst to me, she kind of told me it was one of those ask for forgiveness situations. I'm going to get pied because they reached their goal. Hey, would you like to be pied? Sure. So at a later assembly, I will be pied by multiple students. I just requested to Mrs. Sockness that we do that towards the end of the day. So that would, I have hair, but it's not fun. And I've been pied before. Mrs. Watts, our new full-time ESL teacher, she spent a good 4 weeks hammering out access testing. That is a big task. It is one of our state required assessments. It's a standardized test that has to be given to all of our students who receive ESL services. So she more or less had to stop her normal business for about a month and individually test kids one-on-one, and she tackled it all herself. And it was completed last week. So thank you to her. Not sure if you heard the good news. Mrs. Fisher was 97 ZOK's Teacher of the Week a couple of weeks ago. I will have a picture, that class picture, in my newsletter that'll hopefully go out tomorrow after school. And then to echo what Mr. Bressler just said, I wanted to thank Christina, Mrs. Eichheid, and Mrs. Finnegan for stopping by last week. I had kind of a general good report from staff members that they enjoyed seeing you in the building. So thank you very much. That's PHS.
All right, over the last month, I should say, we had quite a few things. One of the things that it gets to do every year, Mrs. Houghton has a gentleman come in from a theater company and they do Shakespeare Day. So that tends to be a really appreciated presentation by students. They do like a whole assembly in the cafe first, and then he goes to their literature classes and does extra things with them there. And that kind of lines up with her Macbeth novel that they do in class, and just kind of gives them that Shakespearean background knowledge, which they will dive more into their freshman lines here. We had the Java Jam, which is put on by both Haley Gucha and Karen Crippen. So that is pretty much all band and choir kids. They get to choose songs that they would either sing and or play, and sometimes they combine in groups and play instruments and also sing, but is more of like a passion project in music. And then they come here, it's usually, I was like, there's a goat, a dog, which looks like a wolf running. Really distracting. So they do that fundraiser. It's also a fundraiser. So there's a bunch of gift baskets that Haley Vichai has donated from different businesses in the area, and people can come and bid on those baskets and then listen to music. This year it was on Valentine's Day in the afternoon for a couple hours. And then Mrs. Williams, who you can see here is running our book fair at Willowbrook, she also opened the book fair on that day to get kind of an additional jump start, because often in the middle school, it's a little bit harder to get parents to come in and actually see the books in the book fair. It's usually kids coming in and buying those things. So that was another opportunity to have that available to the community. We obviously are wrapping up or getting really close to wrapping up girls basketball season. They're playing right now. This is their last home game. So they're honoring the 6th, 8th graders that we have out there tonight. On Thursday, we had our Bleed Blue Day, which was focused on perseverance. And we had a gentleman by the name of Jason Smith come and speak to each grade level at a time, talking to them about working through your identity with one label. So kind of the idea that sometimes kids might say, I'm smart or I'm funny or I'm athletic, but they kind of think that's the only thing that they are, and recognizing that labels can be positive in many ways, but you don't have to have just one label. You can be many things. And then also that labels aren't always a positive thing based on what those labels are. So the message is, how do you persevere through those things or times and phases in life and recognize that you are more than just one thing that you are said to be or thought to be, and how you kind of gain experiences and shared characteristics sometimes with other people that you don't even expect to gain them from. So that was a great message. And I thought he's kind of a really chill dude. Excuse me. So when you come, you're like, oh God, so you're going to command middle school kids, right? Because like that takes kind of a finesse. I think he did a really good job reading that kids need to move. And there were 3 or 4 opportunities where kids got to move and interact with each other about his message, which was neat. And I kind of quizzed all of them at the end of each. I said, I need 5 things or 3 things, or tell me something that you learned or took away from this. And I would say I felt really confident that the kids did receive the message that he was trying to give. So that was cool. We as well are doing conferences here at Willowbrook. I will say they are not as highly attended as the fall games. Part of that, I think, is because 8th graders have course selection night at the high school. And one of the nights that they offer is the 19th, which is our first conference night. So a lot of our 8th grade teachers didn't see as many faces as we normally would have. But the high school also offers a course selection night on the 23rd, which was this past Monday. So all of our 8th graders are getting excited about that transition and that next step. This weekend, we have the 8th graders. It's not technically put in by the school, but the kids get to do it, which is kind of a cool thing you see for that trip if they signed up for that for the long weekend. Historically, we will have really low 8th grade attendance on Tuesday. Everybody comes back. It's not an option, but they need their sleep, Kim. So usually they take an extra day. But it's a fun trip for those who go, and this actually does that with them, and usually pulls a couple other adults to go with her for that. We are approaching our first ever boys volleyball season. So there's open gyms that are happening. Tryouts will happen in March, which is exciting to see how that will go down. Track will also be kicking off in March as well. Track is a really good place and for kids who just want to dabble in an athletic event, but aren't really sure how or what they can contribute, because our coaches do a nice job of finding something that they all can do, which is awesome. And then probably the most exciting thing of the month was that Haley Gucha, our choir teacher, did win the Golden Apple. She was a Golden Apple recipient on the 19th. So she got to start her morning with a surprise visit from really going.
I locked it too.
It came from the outside.
Oh.
Not from the inside. Yeah.
So that was fun. We had a surprise visit for her from all the Golden Apple people, but then also Linda Julian was a part of that delivery party. And if you don't know who Linda Julian, she is the choir teacher that was here before. And she also was one of Haley's teachers when Haley was a student at Prairie Hill. So it's kind of cool to see like a full circle moment. Her family came. She had no idea. And I told her, I was like, you're killing me, because she asked me every day. She's like, do you know? Have you heard? Do you know? Have you heard? And so of course I knew, but I was like, no idea. Because we want it to be a surprise for them and we want it to be special. So that was a fun moment for her. And we're really excited for her. So I think that's what we're
Thank you.
Yeah, just a few updates from where we were at. A couple things we talked about at the committee of the whole.
We are looking to approve calendars for the 26-27 and 27-28 school year tonight. I did take a look. There's going to be two variations of calendar for 26-27, one with an election day and one without an election day. We just got an update, I think it was last week. And essentially they're saying that we may not know until summertime if we're going to have to take that Tuesday off or not. So what we'll likely do is, assuming they get passed tonight, throw both those versions up. It's not going to affect the beginning of the school year or the end of the school year or the big breaks that everybody takes a look at and usually goes on vacation for. But it might mess with the conferences a little bit if we end up putting the conferences on that Monday night and taking the Tuesday off like we did a few years ago. So please just keep that in mind. And as soon as I know whether or not it's a thing, we will put the actual one up on the website and take the other one down. We had a forum on Monday night for Hananiga Nations about the 1% county sales tax. Started at 6:30 at Hananiga. All of the superintendents there were there for the nations. A couple board members from Hananiga showed up, and Greg Brown from RPS showed up and gave a presentation similar to what he gave to you as a board. That Bunny's just got the zoomies tonight.
This is a new occurrence, really.
It really is.
Never escaped that many times.
It's a safe space. We need another blanket.
Maybe
to
it's
put over that.
like it, that's what I was looking at too.
That would be a possibility.
Can you put the bunnies together or no? Like, oh, it's a boy and a girl.
No.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to take that chance.
Maybe they. Anyway, thank you, Mrs. Thompson. So we had that going on. That lasted till about 8 o'clock Monday night. We all sent them to our community and our staffs, and we had one person show. But Mr. Dugan did see some people during freshman orientation and had conversations with them out in the hallway. So that worked out well too. So we'll see how that goes on March 17th. One. Yeah, from Kinnikinnick, if you're wondering. But Hananiga does have a board member that lives in our district, so we counted that as well. So there's that. I do feel like it was productive for the individual that was there and the rest of us, but another good presentation by Greg. So we appreciate him coming out for that. We have the reunification MOU that we talked about, which is all of the school districts in Winnebago area, partnering with local emergency services, police, paramedics, that sort of thing. So if there was ever a mass crisis, we could partner with the city on that. So we'll have that up for approval tonight. And that just gives us all of the resources readily available and some different spaces that we could potentially have reunification at if we had to leave the buildings and we needed a bigger space for parents in the community to come pick up their students. So that's on the agenda for tonight as well. I talked to Mr. Carter about the preschool playgrounds, and we talked a little bit about the funding and the grant that he got. He is going to reach out to a couple more companies to get us a couple more quotes. So he's working on that now, and whenever he has some feedback on that, I'll bring that back to the board. Likely March or April is what I'm guessing. And then finally, for the tuition waiver that we discussed and the wording on policy and putting it into our policy, I did send that to legal last week or maybe the week before. Anyway, they're going to take a look at that and vet that. So as soon as they get that looked at, I'll bring feedback to the board. We can take a look at that again. And then I'm thinking likely it would be in our best interest if we're going to approve it in March or April and get it into policy. So. And outside of that, Mrs. Thompson and Mr. Carter hit the things that were happening in February.
Committee reports, building and finance. The only thing of note that I have is just that Clint and myself and a little bit of Tina had some emails recently just regarding the audit getting done and kind of where, the new treasurer, how she is getting acclimated. And things to note. So as we have it right now, Tina's going to reach out, probably even tomorrow, I think, and talk to that new treasurer, as well as maybe she said she was going, I don't know, too.
Okay.
From Benning.
Yep.
I don't know why, but yeah, so we're just working a little bit with Clint there to make sure that anything we can do to help get this done sooner than later. Anything else?
I did get your email.
Okay, yeah. I
I
just
wasn't
wanted,
ignoring you.
no, you're fine. I just wanted to share, what had been happening since it was for that committee, but it wasn't really anything.
Okay.
That we to report at the moment. Education and transportation. Do you want to give us like a little rundown?
Yeah, so Liz and I went to Prairie Hill a couple weeks ago. And went to visit Mr. Carter. We had a really productive discussion. It was, I'd say we were there for what, 2.5, 3 hours. It was a nice bulk of the morning. And we actually went to every classroom. Every teacher was very welcoming, and the students were so well behaved. I mean, you cannot say that any teacher there does not have their classroom totally under control and managed, and they were a delight, all the students. I was most impressed because, I mean, I knew we had great administrators, great teachers, but the students were just awesome. So that was really fun to see. It was a very quick in and out, just, saying hi to the teachers and the students. So we didn't spend a whole lot of time in any of the classrooms. We did get a tour by Mrs. Wright, and she kind of was explaining things on the tour, so that was helpful as well. But I would like to get your email, and I would love to come shadow any teacher willing to have me, and to maybe go through like a short little questionnaire. But Liz and I can get together. I have my notes. I was nervous about sharing them because I didn't know if the quorum. Can I share them with you?
Like an
Me and
email?
Liz. Just email you the notes then?
I mean, we did talk about some personnel things.
Yeah, don't share, don't share.
Well, yeah, that's not in there. It was just,
No, I mean, you don't need to though, just like what you're doing now.
okay,
is fine,
perfect.
And if as you have another meeting with them, if we dig into it deeper,
Okay.
at the cow and stuff, but if you ever do want, you can send an email though. and
Okay,
just kind of,
perfect.
like update on something that tell us that you had the meeting or whatever, but we won't reply all or
Yeah.
necessarily have a discussion.
Yes, but Liz and I can get together too and kind of think about just some ideas we were brainstorming.
Yeah.
And then we met with Mrs. Thompson Monday, and you as well. And walked around the school for a bit. All the teachers were amazing, and we walked into a couple classrooms, and it was just a couple of things that I noticed that I really, really loved was in Mr. Brown's classroom. He had kids standing, sitting under the table, but nobody was misbehaving. It was just, he knew how these kids wanted to learn. And no one was being outrageous or talking while he was talking. So I just thought that was a really cool thing to see, that they were just moving about their day, and he knew what he had to let these kids to do to listen to his lesson plan. Miss Houghton welcomed us into her classroom. She introduced us. She had the kids ask us any questions or let us know whatever where they wanted to see changes. And I'm supposed to tell you that they really dislike iReady in 7th and 8th grade. And they would love it if we could look into something else. I promised I would share that information on Wednesday. That, and they wanted the dinosaur game back.
That's something that's locked in there.
It is. It's blocked. And they were like showing me, and I'm like, well, you can go home and do this, right? And they're like, yeah, but it'd be really fun to do it at school. So, but no, they were great. And Miss Houghton actually did invite us back.
Yeah.
She was really disappointed on the day we came because she was just doing like interviews with the kids,
Yeah.
but she wants us to see her whole Shakespearean lesson. She was really excited to.
I think
share
that was
that.
some of the feedback I had gotten is what Dan had mentioned, that they were like, bring them back, let them hang out, we can give them a schedule to follow for the day, and I was like, sure, we love that.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. We would love.
I had 9 years on the education committee and we did nothing cool like this, so I might just.
Yes.
I mean, I think they take any of you at any time.
Yeah. It was very, like, honestly, everybody was so welcoming. Nobody gave us like a weird look, because I know like I think, did you email the teachers maybe that we were walking
I
through?
just said there might be some. visitors
Okay,
walking around.
right.
Yeah.
But nobody looked at us like
Yeah.
we were straight, yes, and at Prairie Hill, no one looked at us like we were intruding on their space and I'm really lucky that I have kids at both places, so I got a lot of highs from a lot of kiddos. And, you know, that was special, but anyway, that was that.
Okay, perfect. Policy.
I
Nothing?
just have the section 6 items to look into, which we'll take a look at next out.
Okay,
Was, it's already covered the other part.
perfect. FOIA request. Oh, yeah. You guys are talking about a month of. Yeah, I was like, whoa. Chad. Curry, okay, security systems and support company contract service agreements and purchase orders. Smart procure all current employee information. Sunlight access, ask for contract records for specific.
This appeared to be AI, so we requested proof it was an AI and
Got it. Understand? Yeah, we can do that now, okay. Chris Miller with Public Info Access LLC, records, policies, or schedules identifying dollar thresholds for purchasing and contracting approval authority for school administrators, central office staff, the superintendent, and the Board of Education. Interesting. Michael Henry regarding the board member background checks. Was that the one we were expecting to get?
Yeah, so that was sent to, I think, every district in the state of
I had the
Illinois.
impression, yeah.
Yeah, and so I talked to the nation supers, and we talked to some legal representation and essentially board members are not required to do background checks. It's something that the county handles, so we basically responded with responsive information and the county, which is pretty standard with the other districts in the area.
This time, I will entertain a motion to enter executive session to discuss appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. 2C1,
Oh, you're going to vote on closed session then, so you already took a look at those with the county.
oh yeah, lawfully closed meeting minutes in section 2C21.
So moved.
Second,
Yes.
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 Check.
Yep.